One of the newer features in our Move Controller software is this plate button down here. This allows you to enter in XY dimensions for a sheet of material and then load that onto your table, and then it'll remember what parts are cut out of that sheet so they can then later drag additional parts onto it. In addition to that, I've written an app for IGEMS that allows you to take that plate into IGEMS, create a sheet out of it, and then do nesting in there. First of all, let's go into IGEMS and we'll do a nest. These two pieces here will nest onto this piece of material that's 48 by 48. And we'll just do a couple of each of these. That looks okay for what we're doing. Stop and okay. Set our 0 point. Make our CNC file. We'll be using G54 as our work offset position where we'll cut the program. Be going to G58 park position at the end of the program. And I've got this going at 10 times dry run mode. I've got my special tab here, I've got a checkbox for accelerated dry run. And that'll do things like if there's a pump on code, it'll turn the pump off, and any of the water and abrasive on codes will be ignored. Now we can go to move. And let's move into position where we'll be cutting this. I've got my G54 work offset position set here on the table. Let's go ahead and minimize this a little bit so we get a live view here. So we'll move to that location. And then we'll go ahead and create a plate. Click on the plus button, make a new plate. Whatever you want to call it. And so on. 48 for X, 48 for Y. Save that. And now we can load it onto the table. We'll presume right now that my nozzle is above that lower left-hand corner of that material. Click on Load Plate to Grid. Choose your plate from the list. This is the one we just made. Click OK. And then you can choose which corner of the material that your nozzle is currently above the lower left hand corner. And if the material, first of all, say above corner, and then if the material isn't perfectly square on the table, you can jog along either the X or the Y axis to indicate to move the orientation of the sheet on the table. If I click on this button here, that's telling move that I'll be jogging along the Y axis for that alignment. If I click on this button here, then that indicates that we'll be moving along the X axis. For example, as I jog this way and I jog up a little bit, then we see that sheet moving. So you don't have to go all the way to the corner, just far enough along that you've picked up another point here and it can figure out the orientation. Once you've got that, you can click on Lock Plate. And before we exit out of here, we'll want to take note of this number here, 7.16 degrees. In here, if I turn on this toggle button, when I load the program, it's going to rotate the program to line up with that sheet. You can lock the parts to the plate so you can't drag them off the plate. This is the border around the plate. If you're dragging a part onto there that you haven't already nested, that's how close it'll allow you to get to the edge of that sheet. If I load a G92 program, such as if I go into my demo area and load this, then it loads it in the corner at that rotation. Program that we made was a work offset program, so it's not going to rotate it, but we can also manually rotate it. I click on this, click on rotate, and then type in that rotation angle, and now we can run it. Got an M00 at the start here, so the operator is aware that this is going to be a dry run program. And then back to our park position. We can click on this to remove the program. Leaves us with our skeleton. Click on the plate button, remove plate, save it for later. And now we can go back to IGEMS. And we'll go to a new tab here, go to our WardJet tab, under my WardJet apps, create sheet from plate. We navigate to that folder. This is the plate that we just made. You don't have to go into the folder, just click on it, select folder. Got the different geometries that are on that plate. One of these is the perimeter of the plate, the other ones are the shapes that we cut out of that. This will also make a DXF file. Choose your material and thickness for it. And we've got our sheet that we can then nest things onto. And as I mentioned, this will also make a DXF file. So if you had a different machine that you want to do some nesting on through some different software, you can bring that DXF file into that other software. If you've got our Move Controller software in IGEMS and you'd like to download this app, of course you can go to our Kulu wiki page. And go to the IGEMS page and scroll down to the apps. Click on that to download the app, image for your toolbar. And if you have any questions on that, let me know. Thanks.